Hey, what's going on, guys? Nick from Practically Tactical. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. So I got Jesse from 4C Tactical here with me.
How's it going, guys?
And today we're going to go over the top 5 modifications that you can do to your Glock to take it to the next level. So Jesse, everybody's like, what? Perfected Glocks? What?
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be small improvements that are going to help you as you advance in your shooting career to just manipulate that gun a little bit better, help it run a little bit faster and a little bit flatter.
Yep. So before we get to our top 5, I want to give you guys 3 honorable mentions that I think are good upgrades. However, weren't good enough to make the top 5 list. So I think first, let's talk about mag release buttons.
Yeah, definitely.
I think you definitely see this on the Gen 3s compared more than the Gen 4s. For example, my Gen 3 Glock 17 right here has the Vickers Tactical mag release button right here. It's definitely a small upgrade, but a better upgrade than the actual stock Gen 3. Now let's take it to the other extreme on that gun.
Yeah, definitely. Here you have the Zev for the Gen 3, and as you can see compared to the Gen 4 here, it really sticks out there. I mean, anything that helps you speed up the reload process is a good thing.
Yep, absolutely. So the next one we're going to talk about is the slide stop lever. So again, I've actually upgraded that on my 17 as well, from that small little stubby to actually an enlarged with like a little ledge on here to where it gives you more to purchase on, whether you're moving it into a slide lock position or releasing it from a slide lock position. I know some people only do over the top. However, some people actually like this, and it can give you a faster reload. I think it can be a good upgrade. Again, user dependent though.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I have a trouble running the extended slide release. I just get a high grip and it tends to bump and lock open the slide on every round. So for me, I run an OEM standard slide release, slide lock. But, again, just one of those personal preference type things.
Yep. And so the last honorable mention that we're talking about is Maxwell cuts.
Yeah.
We both have this on our carry guns. This right here, basically to where it makes to where if you ever have an emergency and you actually have to strip a magazine, this helps you get purchase on it to strip it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's some other options out there. There's the enhanced Magwells and stuff like that. For me, I just like that in case, that backup measure where I can really get a good purchase on that magazine and rip it out of there.
Yep, and it's easy to do and it's incredibly cheap. So, all right, so those are the top 3 honorable mentions that didn't make our top 5 list. Let's talk about our top 5. So coming in at number 5, we're talking slide serrations on your guns. So we have right here my Glock 42 done by ATEI with added top fish scale slide serrations with enhanced side serrations and added serrations in the front for press checking or weapon manipulations. So Jesse, for everybody out there, be like, well, I can manipulate my gun just fine without those. Why would I do those?
Yeah, I mean, just extra traction. It gives you more positive traction to run that gun. You'll find definitely when you're out training, especially when taking things like when things go bad, your gun goes down and you have to manipulate it with one hand. You'll really appreciate it. And I mean, out there, sweaty, sunscreen, everything all day, that gun starts getting heated up. You've got some lube on there. It does get hard to rack that slide. So, I mean, again, it's one of those things that it's really nice to have. Doug does some of the nicest work out there for sure. He's really put the science in behind it. And, yeah, I can't wait to get mine done for sure.
Yep, absolutely. So number 5 is, again, slide serrations done up on your Glock.
All right, guys, for number 4, we have the trigger guard undercut. For me, this is a must-have. I mean, when you're out shooting a lot all day, you get what's known as that Glock knuckle. And, I mean, a simple Dremel tool with the sand wheel, and you can really get it to polish to almost a factory finish, if you put enough time in wet sanding it down through the grits. But it just really allows you to get in there, get a nice high-tang grip on that gun, and it's more comfortable, right?
Absolutely. What I really like it, again, I can get more up on my gun. It helps me manage that recoil a little bit better. I get a better grip on my gun. And again, I think the management recoil really pays off in dividends. And something to kind of go along with that too. We're talking about cutting off the finger grooves. You don't. I do. And again, though, but, after all that, the undercut, man, is really what just gives that way better grip on a Glock, getting up on it more, controlling that recoil.
No, definitely.
All right, let's move on to number 3 on our list, and we're going to be talking triggers. Now, a lot of people say Glock stock trigger. That's actually a pretty good trigger, and I think we would agree with that.
I would.
So, but upgrading your trigger can really take out some of that take-up and that Glock sponge the Glock triggers are known for.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Triggers is half the equation. So anything you can do to lessen the movement into the gun is a good thing. Like you said, we like the OC custom triggers. It's just a great budget trigger. it performs. I mean, we put it through tons of classes, and it's fully adjustable. So as you can see here, you've got a nice crisp uptake to the wall and reset. And that's, I mean, that's how I like my triggers. You know,
Yep.
I like really no slop in there and a nice crisp reset.
Yep. I mean, there's a lot of good triggers out there. Zev, you know, Agency, there's tons of great triggers. We prefer OC custom triggers. In fact, every single gun you see here has OC custom triggers on it. We actually have an install video on their trigger you guys can check out. I'll put a link down below. But again, I think that trigger, again, as you talk about half the equation, it really sets yourself up for success to shoot more accurate.
You're absolutely right. All right, guys, that brings us to number 2 on our list. And this one, we've got a great video out there on it, in fact. So this is Stipple. You know, this is a controversial one out there because a lot of people don't want to ruin that reset value. But I feel it's a must-have. What do you say, Nick?
Absolutely agree. I think 3 of the guns we have out here, I actually have Stipple jobs on them. 2 we've done by ourselves, which you can check out the video on that as well. I'll put a link down below. And then my Glock 42 is actually done by Sweaty Muddy Bloody. I think the stippling, for me, yeah, now that I have my gun stippled, all my Glocks gotta be, all my guns gotta be stippled because the stock, whether it be Gen 3 or Gen 4, is not enough traction on the gun. Especially when you get out running it and you get, you have suntan lotion on in a training class or you start getting sweaty, having that stipple job makes a huge difference in the grip on your gun.
No, I think, the hardest part is getting past that I might resell this gun. If this is something you're carrying every day and you want to depend your life on it, again, you can change everything about it. It's not just the stipple. With a simple little bit of Dremel work, you can change the entire grip angle and everything else. So, like Nick said, he doesn't like the finger grooves. You can completely remove them. So it makes it where it's more your gun at that point, and it's set up for your hand. Again, these are all personal preference items, but I think the longer you get into actually running that gun and manipulating it, it's like you said, it just makes it easier.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I can't imagine not having a stipple gun now. It helps in, that recoil management, holding on that gun, keeping that gun on target. For me, your stipple job, yeah, is the number 2 upgrade that there is on Glocks.
Definitely.
So let's move on to our number 1 Glock upgrade. The first thing that you should do when you buy a Glock is upgrade your sights.
Yeah.
The stock Glock sights come with their plastic polymer sights. I wouldn't say they're the most accurate sights in the world. Some people might not like the ball and cup. When you get into one-handed manipulations, they're known for breaking and falling off. So I think sights is the first upgrade you got to do when you buy a Glock.
Yes, sir. The good news is there's a plethora of them out there. There is tons and tons of sights on the market. And, yeah, you can have it all sorts of ways. I mean, some of the most popular are your night sights with tritium inserts. You have what I like to run personally, which is a blacked out rear and a fiber optic front. You have some like HD Trijicon sights that have a bigger front sight that are more for faster manipulation, faster on target. So it's really comes down to personal preference on it. But yeah, you definitely want to get yourself a set of steel sights and something with a good ledge, I would say, that you can use to, worst case scenario, one-handed manipulation.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree. I prefer the blacked out rear with the fiber optic front. I actually used to run red. Just today I just switched to the green to try it out. You have the 10-8 sights with, again, fiber optic front, blacked out rear. We prefer those, but again, there's so many options out there. The stock Glock night sights, the Trijicon night sights. You can really, again, set up the sights exactly how you want them. 3-dot, ball and cup, fiber optic front. There's so many options out there, but I think it's definitely upgrade the sights. Definitely have to.
Yeah, that's a number 1 thing. I would say out of the box, that's the downfall of the Glock for sure. You're going to have to get some new sights.
Yep. So there it is, guys. There is our list of our top 5 Glock modifications. Put down below what your top 5 modifications to your Glock would be from number 5 to number 1. Would love to see that. You guys got any questions about any of the setup in these guns? Please put it down below. Would love to answer those as well. So Jesse, thanks for coming on and making this list with me. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
So there it is, guys. Our top 5 Glock modifications. Until next time, take care. However, upgrading the trigger can really move some of that take-up and that Glock sponge the triggers are known for.
You're absolutely right. I mean, triggers is half the equation, so...
What the fuck was that?
Fuck you, Betty Ross.
What the fuck?
God damn it.
There's a fucking ghost in here.
Oh, fuck you guys.
You finally got it right. That one time. Fuck you. That's gonna have to be an outtake roll. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Number 3 is the son of a bitch.
All right, here we go.